Well, welcome back to another Waynosfotos video, and it's back in the headlines, hookless rims. And we've had Hambini respond, we've had Feiyutech respond, and we have all this technical information, right? But we've been talking about this hookless rims for a while now, and we've seen failures in the past. But the difference now is it was at a pro level rather than just someone riding along and then boom, their rim fails. Now, the whole issue here is that when we see it happen at a pro level, it gets a lot more focus. And it looks like for this particular rim, it was a zip rim and it had Victoria tires on it. It had a Victoria insert, which is supposed to help them if the sealant can't seal. So you can still keep riding. It's like that. It like expands inside and acts like a low pressure air to the tire so they can keep riding. But anyway, this one, the rim failed and it looked like it had made a bit of a mess. Now, what I want to highlight is the fact is that, I mean, Hambini's saying they're dangerous, and I've been saying that I don't know if they're dangerous, but they're maybe not as a reliable system as we've had in the past. And there's a number of reasons why I say that. Now, I've used sealant quite a bit, and sealant is kind of a bit of an unreliable mix in the whole hookless rim design, because they're relying on this liquid product that has some particles in it to seal holes and actually seal the rim and stopping it from leaking even when there's no holes in the tires. It sort of takes up all of those little spots in the tire that actually are tiny little holes that the hookless system cannot seal completely. And that's why you need to put tape on the rim. You need to have, the tape needs to be really quite good, because where the little holes are, if you've got them, for where the spokes go, is sometimes they can have a sharp edge and you need to tape it up pretty well. And sometimes tape's not that light. So this is all adding weight, plus we're adding the sealant, which could be 200 grams, another 200 grams, plus the tire, plus the rim, everything, right? But even if you say, hey, look, I don't care about weight, I just like the idea of the sealant and it's self-healing and whatever. Now, that is actually another negative with the hookless rim. The sealant doesn't last. It's not like a set and forget. You have to keep topping it up because the sealant coagulates, because that's kind of what it's designed to do. It's designed to coagulate and block the holes. But of course, just with the normal use and the agitation in the tire, it starts to coagulate. Then it doesn't work effectively. So you need to keep topping it up. Otherwise, if you do get a puncture, the sealant doesn't work. It's only sealed the parts where it's sealed when it was a liquid form, and it doesn't do its job as a puncture repair system once it starts to coagulate. So that's the first thing. Plus also the matching of the tire and the rims is pretty critical, as Feiyutech pointed out. And there's the I can't remember, the European Rim and Tire Organization. I can't remember the exact acronyms, but I've looked at this and I've talked about it before. Now, they have kind of limited the pressures in these tires to 72 psi. So that's kind of, if you want to go above that, then that's fine, but you're going outside of the standard guidelines. And even manufacturers could probably argue, if they're pointing to that standard, you need to abide by it. If you do run pressures above it, they won't warranty your rims and tires, because that system, they may say, is only designed to work at that pressure. Now, depending on if you're a light guy, that might not be a problem. If you're a heavy guy, you might find that the tires you want to ride may bottom out if you're going over big holes, or depending on how hard you ride, you jump off curbs, whatever. It may not be able to take that abuse. Now, you might say, you shouldn't be riding it like that, but people do. And that's the issue. This whole system, even though you say it has this self-healing, feature, it doesn't always work. It's very difficult to set up. You need specialty equipment, and also it doesn't always do what it advertises. That's why they've developed this insert as well, because the system still doesn't work as advertised. So now you've got to put a liner in. And if you've actually watched any videos or any commentary about this product, it's extremely difficult to put in. Noodles, liners, whatever you want to call them, that go in the tire are extremely difficult to set up and put on. So there's all these negatives. And for most people, they just go, it's a bicycle. I just want to get it out the shed, right? Pump the tires up and ride it. I don't want to have to worry about, is the sealant coagulated? I've got to buy a new tire. I need to get a special tire. I can't just use any tire I get from, the bike shop or whatever. I need to go and look at their charts. I can only run at certain pressures. People don't care about that shit. Most people, it's only the really, really top enthusiasts that are into all that stuff for optimum performance and comfort, and they're using these systems. But what we're getting now is manufacturers are fitting these type of tires to an off-the-shelf bike. So if you want to run hookless, that's fine, but they take a lot more focus, a lot more maintenance, and the weakness is that these things are giving failure problems. And one of the reasons I've seen, I spoke about this in a previous video, which happened to Shane Miller, he had it on a gravel bike, wasn't the zip wheels on a gravel bike, and Hambini talked about it as well, is when you have a straight line like this, right, what happens is that it's like a piece of wood. If I hit it with an axe or hit it with something on a point, it tends to split. It tends to split it open like this, right? But if you have like a right angle on it, like on a beam, it gives it a lot more strength, and it basically distributes the force across a bigger area. So the impact needs to be a lot stronger for it to cause that to split. Now, yes, there's manufacturing benefits to hookless. You can get better compaction because it's much easier to make. They don't have to use silicon. They don't have to use multiple molds. You haven't got a complex hook to go in there. So manufacturing-wise, it has its advantages, but practical riding benefits, the hook trims have their advantages. And we're all used to using them, and you don't have to use sealant. You can use a tube, right? Now, if you want to go and use that stuff, that's fine. We've all given our advice on it. I don't believe it's really a better system. It's a system that the manufacturers have been trying to perfect for a long, long time. When I first started getting back into cycling, which was like 15 odd years ago, you could buy these tubeless wheels and tires, and even then people kept away from them. They've tried to perfect them. They've gone to hookless rims. They're trying to always perfect them, and still the product really is not that great and not that reliable. You're much better just carrying a tube, have a puncture, not have one of these fancy two-way rims. You can take the tire off easily, put a tube in, put it back on, and you're on your way. Easy peasy lemon squeeze. You don't have to worry about sealant. You don't have to have other stuff. You don't have a special thing to blow it up because you need to have this dumping of air pressure. You don't have to have all this stuff. It's just simple. Okay, guys, that's where I'm going to leave it. And leave your comments down below. Are you riding hookless? Do you think they're a great idea? Have you had any problems with them? Or do you ride the old style? I ride tubular, so I'm really old school. But do you ride clinchers? What do you ride? Have you actually tried hookless or tried tubeless and then gone back to the old style because they didn't work for you, or you've moved to the new technology and you love it? Let us know. Okay, guys, Waynosfotos out.